My mom passed, and I took her old rocking chair onto the porch as a reminder of her. It was weathered, faded, but it was hers. One morning it was gone. I found a message etched into our welcome mat. Move on already. A week later I spotted it. Refinished. Clean. Sitting on our neighbor's Instagram feed with the caption, "Rescued from the trash." My hands shook as I scrolled. She knew exactly what she'd taken. And when I knocked, she said, "If it mattered, you wouldn't have left it outside." Last spring, my mom passed away after a long fight with cancer. She was my best friend. I moved back into her old house, this little white 2-story place in Black Mountain, North Carolina. I didn't fix it up much. I couldn't. Every nick in the wall, every loose floorboard reminded me of her. There was an old rocking chair she loved. It wasn't pretty anymore. It had lived through storms, dogs, grandkids, and winters on that porch. The paint was mostly gone, and the seats sagged. But every night after dinner, my mom would sit in it, humming little songs from when she was a girl. That chair held more of her than anything else I owned. After her funeral, I cleaned it up as best I could and placed it on the front porch again. I wasn't ready to move it inside. It was spring, the weather was warm. I liked sitting out there, feeling like she was sitting with me. Then, one Saturday morning, it was gone. At first, I thought maybe it had fallen over. Maybe someone moved it. Maybe it blew down the street. But I walked up and down the road, checked the ditch, the neighbor's yard. It was just gone. I was about to go inside and call around when I saw it, on my old, worn welcome mat. Someone had scraped words into it. Move on already. The letters were deep, ripped into the fabric like someone took a knife or a sharp key and carved it out, slow and hard. Not just sprayed with silly string or left a prank note. They wanted it to hurt. I don't even know how long I stood there. I think I just stared. I wanted to scream, but nothing came out. Who would do that? And why? The next few days were rough. I kept checking online, local Facebook groups, neighborhood pages. I thought maybe some idiot thought they were helping. Maybe someone picked it up thinking it was trash. I posted a missing chair note with a photo and a short story about how much it meant to me. No one answered. Days passed. I stopped sleeping right. Every time a car slowed down outside, I peeked through the blinds. Every night, it felt like someone was laughing at me through the dark. A week later, my friend Cheryl texted me at midnight. "OMG. Look at this. Isn't this your mom's chair?" Attached was a screenshot from Instagram. There it was. My mom's chair. Only it wasn't my mom's chair anymore. It was sanded, repainted a shiny blue, with new bright cushions tied onto it. Sitting pretty in a sunroom I recognized immediately. Tanya's house. Tanya lived 2 doors down from me. Big, flashy woman. She loved showing off every DIY project she did. Only half of them were actually hers. I guess now we knew how she got her rescues. The caption made me want to throw up. Rescued from the trash. One man's trash is another woman's treasure. Trash. Trash. My mom's rocking chair. I couldn't see straight, I was so mad. I didn't even put on real shoes. I stomped across the street in socks and banged on Tanya's front door until my hand hurt. She opened it like she wasn't the devil herself. Hair done up, nails perfect, fake little smile pasted on. I didn't say hi. I didn't ask questions. I just pointed past her shoulder at the chair. "That's mine," I said, voice shaking. "It was on my porch." She looked behind her, then back at me. Shrugged. Actually shrugged. "If it mattered so much," she said sweetly, "you wouldn't have left it outside." I thought my heart was gonna stop. "I didn't leave it in the trash," I said. "It was on my private property. On my porch." She smiled wider. "Well, it sure looked abandoned. People leave junk out all the time. You should really let go of the past. It's better for you. She wouldn't want you hanging on to things." I had to leave. I had to physically turn around and walk away, or else I was gonna lose it right there in her doorway. I barely made it back to my porch before the tears hit. That night, something changed inside me. Tanya thought she could stomp all over what little piece I had left and get away with it. She thought wrong. First, I started digging. And it wasn't hard. Tanya loved bragging online. She had a Facebook page for her business, flipping old furniture. A TikTok account showing off rescued pieces. An Instagram feed full of before and after pictures. I spent hours, nights, combing through it all. Screenshots. Videos. Comments. It turned out, Tanya wasn't just rescuing trash. She was stealing. She posted about snagging an old desk from a city office building. Boasted about raiding a dumpster behind a historic inn. She even laughed about reclaiming a set of church pews she found, abandoned, behind a local chapel. Except, small problem, those places all had surveillance cameras. And legally you can't just take stuff from private or public property without permission. Not without risking criminal charges. I started sending emails. One to the manager of the downtown office building. Attached screenshots of Tanya's posts bragging about stealing their furniture. One to the church she rescued pews from. One to the HOA board with a huge folder of screenshots, showing Tanya running a full-blown business out of her house without the right permits or insurance. One to the city sanitation department about unauthorized salvaging. All anonymously. It took 3 weeks for everything to start falling apart. First, Tanya's little business got flagged by the city. She got slapped with a hefty fine for unauthorized commercial operations out of a residential home. Then, the downtown office pressed petty theft charges against her. It wasn't a felony, but it was a court date. A fine. A criminal record. The HOA fined her $250 per day until she shut down her business and removed her advertising signs. They threatened legal action if she didn't comply. And oh, her social media? Gone. Vanished overnight. One afternoon, about a month after it all started, I came home and found a black trash bag sitting at the end of my driveway. Inside it? The rocking chair. She tried to strip the new paint off but gave up halfway. It was half blue, half ruined. No note. No apology. Nothing. I pulled it out, lifted it in my arms like a baby, and carried it back to my porch. Set it down right where it belonged. Old, broken, battered, but still there. Just like me. Just like my mom. After I set the chair down, I thought maybe that was it. Maybe Tanya had learned her lesson. Maybe she realized that stealing and mocking people had real consequences. I was wrong. 2 days later, I woke up to find my porch trashed. My flower pots were smashed. My welcome mat, the same one with the cruel words carved into it, was gone. Dirt was kicked all over the steps. Even the chair was knocked over on its side like someone had tried to break it. I stood there in my bare feet, feeling sick. It was still dark out. No one around. But I knew who did it. Tanya. No one else hated me enough to do this. That morning, I went to the police. I filed a vandalism report. I gave them everything: screenshots, history, the original chair theft, the new damage. I even told them about the message carved into the mat. The officer at the desk nodded, said all the right things, but I could tell they weren't going to do much. It's a small town. Petty neighbor fights are a dime a dozen. Unless someone caught Tanya in the act, it would just sit in a file. I went home feeling helpless. I sat on the porch steps for a long time, staring at the broken flower pots and spilled dirt. The chair lay sideways in the mess, looking like it was crying. That night, I decided if the cops wouldn't handle it, I would. I wasn't going to vandalize Tanya's house. I wasn't going to touch her property. I was going to hit her where it really hurt, her reputation. Tanya had one big dream she never shut up about: getting her own little shop downtown. She wanted to sell her rescues legit someday. She even had a few investors lined up from her social media following before everything fell apart. Problem was, she still had some listings up on local forums and Facebook Marketplace. She was trying to get rid of inventory fast before the HOA or city could find her again. I made a few fake accounts. Messaged her about her furniture. Acted super interested. Set up meetings. Wasted her time. Then no-showed. Over and over again. Sometimes I'd cancel at the last second. Sometimes I'd pretend to get mad and accuse her of selling stolen goods in the message threads, where anyone browsing the listings could see the comment. I started warning other buyers too. Anonymously. Quietly. Every time she posted, I'd reply to the post with something like, "Hey, didn't you get caught stealing furniture from the downtown?" Or, "Buyer beware, this seller has pending theft charges." People started to notice. Her items stopped selling. Her listings got flagged and removed. More and more, Tanya started posting angry rants on local groups about being targeted, and jealous neighbors, and haters. Nobody cared. The town is small. Word travels fast. And after her court date became public record, everyone knew exactly who and what she was. By the end of the month, Tanya's dream was dead. No shop. No buyers. No social media fans. And her house? She put it up for sale. Rumor was, she couldn't afford the fines, the court fees, and the mortgage anymore. You'd think that would be enough, right? You'd think someone like Tanya, who wrecked so much, would pack her bags quietly and leave. But she didn't. She tried one more thing. One last desperate, pathetic move. It was late one night when I heard it. A sharp knock on my door. Fast, panicked. I looked through the peephole. Tanya. Her hair was a mess. Her face was red like she'd been crying. I almost didn't open the door. But something inside me, maybe curiosity, maybe just wanting to see her broken, made me crack it open. "What?" I said flatly. She didn't try to fake a smile this time. She didn't pretend we were neighbors. She went straight for it. "I need the chair back," she said. I blinked. "What?" She shifted from foot to foot, wringing her hands. "I need it," she said. It's sentimental to me now. It's a symbol. I need it for my business. For my comeback. I know I messed up, okay? But it's just a chair. Let's be reasonable." I stared at her. Reasonable? She stole from me. Mocked me. Vandalized my home. Now she was begging for the one thing she couldn't replace. I stepped outside, let the door slam shut behind me, and stood between her and the chair. "You don't get it," I said. "It's not just a chair." Tanya's face crumpled. For a second, she looked like she was going to cry. Then, she did something that made everything inside me go cold. She spit at my feet. "Trash," she hissed. "Just like your mom." I didn't move. I didn't scream. I didn't even flinch. I just smiled. A small, cold, real smile. And then I said, "Good luck finding another porch to steal from." Then I turned around, picked up the rocking chair, and carried it inside my house. Locked the door behind me. Left her standing in the dark, alone. After that night, I figured Tanya would finally leave me alone. But people like her don't know when to quit. About a week later, I noticed little things happening around town. At the grocery store, a few people were whispering when I walked by. At the gas station, a clerk who always used to smile at me barely made eye contact. I thought maybe I was being paranoid. Then Cheryl sent me another message. "Hey! Tanya's spreading rumors about you." Attached was a screenshot of a post from one of the local Facebook groups. Some people just can't let go of the past. They fake sentimental stories for attention and pity. They attack hardworking women just trying to build a life. No names. But everyone in town knew who she meant. I laughed when I saw it at first. It was pathetic. But then, I realized how dangerous it could be. In a small town, your reputation is everything. It doesn't take much to turn you into that crazy woman down the street. Especially when you're grieving, living alone, keeping to yourself. Especially when you already look like you're clinging to the past by sitting on your porch every night with a broken rocking chair. Tanya knew exactly what she was doing. She couldn't take my mom's chair. So now she was trying to take my name. I decided it was time to end this for good. First thing, I talked to Cheryl. Then to a few other friends who still trusted me. We came up with a plan. Cheryl hosted a porch sale day, a town-wide thing where neighbors could sell or give away old stuff. She made it public, loud, and big. And she made me a part of it. Special feature, memorial pieces and family stories. It wasn't just about selling junk. It was about telling the real stories behind the things we loved. I brought the rocking chair. Set it up on the porch. Put a little sign next to it. This chair belonged to my mother. She rocked me to sleep in it. She sat in it every night until she died. It was stolen, vandalized, and fought over. But like her memory, it came home stronger. People came. People listened. Some cried when they heard me talk about Mom. Some even hugged me. Tanya showed up halfway through the day. Of course she did. She hovered at the edge of the yard, arms crossed, sunglasses on. But no one paid her any attention. People were too busy looking at the chair, at me, at the truth. Tanya tried to talk loud enough for people to hear her muttering about attention seekers and liars, but nobody listened. One of the city officials even pulled me aside at the end of the day. "We're sorry for everything you went through," he said. "You ever need anything, you let us know." And the cherry on top? The local newspaper, tiny as it was, ran a story. Heart and Home. A town remembers one woman's fight for family memories. With a big, bright photo of me sitting in my mom's chair, smiling. Tanya left town 2 weeks later. Not a big announcement. Not a moving truck. Just gone. House emptied. For sale sign out front. Last I heard, she tried starting over in another county a few hours away. Word travels fast, though. Especially when your name's attached to petty theft, fraud, vandalism, and being the kind of person who spits on grief. I kept the chair. Still weathered. Still cracked. Still real. I moved it inside finally, into the living room. Right by the window, where the sun hits it every morning. Where Mom would have wanted it. I wish I could say it ended clean. That after Tanya left, everything went back to normal. But life doesn't tie itself up with a bow. Especially not after something that ugly. For a while, things were good. People around town were kind. They smiled, waved. Even folks who used to ignore me stopped to say hello. I felt safe again. I started repainting the porch, fixing up the garden. I even bought some new flower pots to replace the broken ones. But part of me stayed sharp inside, like a knife tucked under the skin. I didn't trust the world the same way anymore. And I didn't trust myself. Because here's the truth I haven't said yet. I didn't just ruin Tanya's reputation. I destroyed her life. I found out through a friend later that after Tanya moved, she struggled to find work. No one would hire someone with a theft record. Especially not when the internet still had little scraps of her name tied to ugly stories. She tried to start another furniture flipping business, different name, different town. It failed in 3 months. She went bankrupt. Rumor had it she moved in with some cousin, sleeping on a couch, trying to pick up shifts at gas stations and diners. She lost everything. And me? I thought I would feel victorious. I thought every time I rocked back and forth in Mom's chair, I would feel proud. But the first time I sat down after hearing how far Tanya had fallen, all I felt was hollow. Because here's what I hadn't admitted to myself. I didn't just protect my mother's memory. I went out of my way to burn Tanya down. Not just teach her a lesson. Not just defend what was mine. I wanted her to suffer. I wanted her to feel as broken and helpless as I did when I saw that chair missing. and I made sure she did. I don't regret fighting for my mom's memory. Not one bit. But sometimes, when the night's real quiet and the rocking chair creaks under me, I wonder, did Mom want me to turn bitter? Did she want me to become someone who couldn't let go of a grudge? Would she be proud of the battle I fought, or ashamed of the war I started? That chair still sits by the window. It always will. But now, when I look at it, I don't just see love. I see the cost of not knowing when to stop fighting. And I rock back and forth, feeling every crack in the wood, every scar in my own heart. Knowing some wars, even when you win, leave you just as broken as the enemy you beat.